One of the greatest tragedies of being raised by a narcissist parents, family members, is not only what they did to you, which is bad enough. It's what they taught you to think about yourself and how they taught you to treat yourself as an adult. And if you click on this video, you probably know that you're meant for more. You know you're smart, you know you're capable, and you feel that you belong up here and you seem to be stuck here. And sometimes you have breakthroughs and it feels great before it kind of comes back to a lower level where you simply don't belong. So let's do some EFT tapping to unlearn some of these damaging things that people around you planted in your mind, so you can regain some of your confidence and just see clearly how amazing you are, so you can start acting like that in your life. Even though deep down, I know I'm smart, capable, and brilliant. And it might or might not be hard to say this. I've always seen some things that others can't see. I'm very intuitive and sharp. But instead of being celebrated, I was put down. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And even though I know I belong higher up, and I really want to use my full potential, but I've never fully been able to do it until now, because part of me doesn't think it's safe. And I deeply and I completely accept all of these parts of me. I have learned to doubt myself. And the people who are supposed to build my confidence damaged it instead. They put me down. And I still carry their voices, facial expressions, and judgments. And it has stopped me from fully being me. I grew up walking on eggshells. I grew up analyzing people's facial expressions to figure out when the next explosion would happen. I learned that love had strict conditions. I learned that being myself and expressing myself wasn't safe. I learned that shining too bright was not safe. I was criticized more than I was encouraged. And it felt like nothing I did was ever good enough. Nothing I did was ever right. Growing up, I could never win. Either I was too stupid and got shamed for it, but when I performed or shined, someone would have a meltdown because they were not the center of attention. Maybe I got punished for absolutely no reason. Maybe I was accused of things that were not true and punished. I had to apologize for things I didn't do. I had to apologize to appease the dragon. My success was minimized. They would nitpick on the slightest little thing. But my mistakes were pointed out and magnified. I was constantly compared to others. I was made to feel selfish for having needs or wants. I was told I was arrogant when I believed in myself or had good grades. I learned to question my own instincts and sanity. I learned not to trust myself. I had to ask for permission for anything. I had to shrink and disappear so other people could be happy. Being successful only created problems, abuse, or screaming. Even doing my own thing in my corner got me those things. So nothing was ever safe. And too much peace and quiet wasn't safe either. Because it was just a question of time before the next explosion happened. So because of that, I started doubting myself. I second-guessed myself. I overthought everything. I put immense pressure on myself to do things perfectly. And if it's not perfect, I don't even feel I can start. I have impossibly high standards for myself that often paralyze me. And I settle for less than I deserve. I accept things I shouldn't be accepting. I tolerate things because I'm not sure if they might be right and I'm just incompetent. I have actually forgotten how intelligent I am. And I question my gifts and my genius. I forgot how ambitious I am. Because it doesn't feel safe to remember who I am. Because who I was abused and rejected. I choose to clear some big misunderstandings. I choose to see the facts. I might have been raised by nutcases. I was raised by deeply confusing and insecure people. with whom it was impossible to do things right. They were never happy or satisfied. And all of that criticism was how they felt inside. And they couldn't handle it, so they threw it on me. The criticism and the yelling was not proof that something was wrong with me. It was just proof that they are deeply hurt and messed up. Their limitations became my doubts. Their reactions made me doubt. But I was actually never too sensitive. I was never too much. I was never too smart or too dumb. I was actually perfectly fine. I was not difficult to love or to understand. I was not difficult to cherish. But because they couldn't give that to themselves, they never gave it to me. The problem was never me. But now I have to deal with the consequences. And I am tired of constantly doubting myself, my intelligence, and my gifts. I'm tired of overgiving and being a doormat. I'm tired of being stuck below my potential. So I'm choosing to clear some of these old patterns immediately. I am more capable than I thought. I am stronger than I realize. There is no one stronger than people like me who survived abuse and narcissist family members. I am special. I am gifted. And that's why they were so triggered. My intuition is so sharp. Doubts are not mine. It is rocks that people put in my baggage. What if I don't need to second guess and ask for permission? What if it is safe to make mistakes? This is something I was never allowed to do. But if a good person was working for me and made a mistake, we would simply peacefully fix it. So I give myself the grace I give to others. I don't need anyone's approval to build trust in myself and in my intelligence. I honor everything I survived. I honor younger me who was helpless and abused. And I refuse to doubt her and put her down. Each time I question my intelligence and my gifts, I reject a younger part of me who needs me. And it just became so clear. So now that I'm aware, I can stop doing that. I choose to see how brilliant I am. I was a young child full of life, ideas, and authenticity. And that is still me. I'm peeling the onion layers that don't belong to me, so I can connect with my true self. I choose to take more space. It's safe for me to have confidence in myself. I'm allowed to be as successful as I want. I allow myself to shine. The only shackles tying me to this small cage I'm in are the ones I keep alive with my thoughts. But I get to stand up and walk out of that cage now. I get to think great things about myself. I choose to remember how amazing I am. I get to do things without pressure of perfection. My voice matters, and my dreams matter. I have so much to bring to the world. That's what I would tell a child who's gone through what I've gone. I don't need to be anyone else than just me. I simply need to reconnect with who I am. My sensitivity is a gift. My intelligence is a gift. My ambition and genius are a gift. And there are so many people out there who would be so happy to have this version of me. Okay, take a deep breath in and breathe out. I do want to give you a message of hope and positivity. I had a client who had an extremely abusive narcissist mom who did unspeakable things to her while she was growing up, while she was a teenager, basically until she managed to leave that home. And even after, her mom still find ways to be absolutely atrocious until my client completely cut contact with her. And one of the ways that this would be showing up is that she was a project manager in a big company, and she constantly doubted herself, even though all of the metrics were showing that she was doing an amazing job. And what is more is that because we people who have been through these things have extremely sharp intuition, we can kind of read people very easily. She knew exactly what was working and not working on a team. She could see who was interacting with who in a good way, in a bad way, what needed to be shifted. She had a very strong analytical mind, and she knew exactly, what needed to be done to bring the company at another level. But she just couldn't affirm it. She couldn't stand strong on her 2 feet because she was so terrified of people being mad at her if she voiced her opinion. She was afraid to ruffle feathers. She was afraid that some people would take it personally if they implemented changes, which was all basically old skeletons of how she was treated by her mom if she dared to upset her or did something that her mom didn't like. Luckily, with a mix of rapid transformational therapy and EFT on those specific traumatic events that kind of left some strong coding in her subconscious mind, she was finally able to just let go of the doubt and eventually be respected in the team and just say what she needed to say without fear that people, would take it personally. And it actually did go really well. So all of these fears, all of these thoughts of worst case scenario, of what might happen if we do the things that we are afraid of, actually don't happen. Feelings are not facts and thoughts are not facts. And this is really something I want you to take away from this video. It's just because we project something that might be happening is very scary, doesn't mean it's the truth. It's just a projection of what we have experienced in the past. And if we want to create a different future, we need to imagine, well, what if it goes well? What if I can be respected? And just daring to stand on your 2 feet, just having the courage to speak up once actually sends a very strong signal to not only yourself, but the universe that you're no longer willing to do what you did in the past. And that can create an immense shift. Even 10% out of our comfort zone can make a 50% change in our results. So it doesn't always have to be massively scary actions. So I hope that this video helped. Please send it to someone that you know who has either grown up with narcissist parents and abuse, maybe a narcissist partners who affected their confidence, or someone who is truly brilliant and genius and who tends to doubt themselves too much. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I'll see you in the next one.